Hey, what's up, geeks? So in this video, I'm going to cover validation for text inputs. Now, I know for most of you guys, validation is something that is definitely needed within your application. You're going to have a login form in most cases, and you're also going to have other forms throughout your application. You're going to need a way to verify that the information added to that input is correct. So I'm going to show you guys how to actually do that. Right now, as you can see, I have two text inputs and I also have two functions that's referencing the validate email and validate password. I'm going to go ahead and create a file called validators.js. Now I'm going to copy a piece of code because it's so hard to make these regular expressions. So I have a regular expression for email, and I'll also have a regular expression for password. You guys can either find out how to create these on your own, or you can just Google, regular expression for email or password. They have some kind of defaults that you can use. But anyways, this is what I have for the regular expression. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to create functions that you can actually apply those regular expressions to, and then use them within your application. This validators file is usually where you keep all of your validators. That could be phone number validation, it could be home address validation, it could be social security, anything. But anyways, that's enough talking. I'm going to get to coding. So type in export const correct email. It's going to have text as a parameter. I'm going to grab my email regular expression. I'm going to test it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the text that was added to our form, switch it to lowercase, and I'm going to trim it. Just in case there's any kind of space, I'm going to say if is valid, it's true, else if is valid is false, we're going to return the value false and the message not a valid email. I'm going to copy what we have here for our correct email, and I'm going to type in the same thing for our password, correct password, regular expression. Everything's to lowercase and trim. And that's just for this. You guys usually don't have to keep your password lowercase, but this is just for this tutorial. Now I'm going to create a new file, and it's going to be called with validations. It's going to be type in with validation.js. Make sure I import React from React. We're going to create two functions. It's going to be with validation and our app validators. Our with validation is going to wrap around our app validators, and we're going to export that out. So type in with validation wrapped validators. We're going to wrap our validators that we just created. We're going to wrap that. Next, type in const app validators validate on change, on changed. Now we're going to wrap our app validators. We're going to export default with validation. All right, so save this. Now I'm going to import with validation, and then also I'm going to import our validators from, go down actually one directory and grab validators. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to, our validated email is going to take some kind of value. So I'm going to say email. Well, I can't put email because of this. So I'll say text and text. All right. So make sure we're passing our text values. Okay, our value. Okay, cool. We're going to say if we're going to get our parentheses with validation, validators dot correct email. Make sure I'm bringing in the right file. Import all as, and make sure my validator. Okay. Now it's referencing it correctly. Got, okay, there we go. So validators with correct email, and remember we have to pass in our values, so we have to pass in our email. Dot is valid. So if our is valid, this is true. I mean, if this is false. So if all this, it turns out that it's not valid, it's false, we're going to go ahead and we're going to alert. Now alert message is going to read with validators, with validation, validators dot correct email, and we're going to reference our message. All right. So we actually don't need our text. We're just going to trigger this function. So go ahead. We really don't want some editing. We don't need these values. So if I press enter, not a valid email. Put my name, not a valid email. I'll put my name, Darron Brown at GeekMODE.tech. Press enter, you see we get no error. All right, so our validation is properly working. We're gonna do the same thing for our password. I'm gonna go ahead and just copy what we have here. And we don't need any of that. So type in correct password. We're going to reference our password. Now, if I just press enter on password, let me go ahead and update that. Did I forget to put not a valid password? All right, cool. Then you can see our password still has to meet a regular expression. So I'm going to say test, not a valid password. Okay. And I could hide it, but I wanted to see, make sure everything's going through. Okay. There we go. You have our lowercase. Well, it meets our length. The length of it has to be that. It has to be 8, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay, so hopefully that was clear for how you add validation to your app and how you're supposed to do it within a professional application. The reason I even did this in the first place is because I had an interview for a company years ago when I first was trying to be a React Native developer, and they wanted me to add validation to their application, and they gave me a couple of files, wanted me to use their files, use their functions, and try to complete the functions and then get it to work and show on the screen. And it was a headache, man, and I didn't really get through it, but I kept practicing because I had access to what they gave me. I just kept redoing it over and over again until I figured it out. But anyways, in case you guys have an interview like that, feel free to use this code, or if you just want to use it for your application, use this code. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.